Welcome. Great to see you. Still haven't perfected the diving through the phone, diving through the laptop, and sitting next to you, but I feel like I'm right there with you. I'm hoping that it was a great week for you. I'm hoping that you feel a little lighter after going through, if you really knew me, and sharing how it is for you and hearing so many other people share. How was it for you? Do you feel lighter? Do you feel more connected to the group? Do you feel like those parts of you that you were keeping inside have a little more company now? Just notice as I'm asking that question, how does it feel in your body? The goal, one of the primary goals of this course is for you to live in your own skin in a way that feels empowering, in a way that feels enlivening, in a way that feels like your body is the source of the expression of your passion. Your body connects you to your destiny. Your body connects you to your purpose. Your body tells you the very next action to take. So we're going to shift this week. Up until this week, and we talked about the theory of change a few times. Notice, choose, and act. We've been a lot in the noticing mode. So much of this course up to now, we've been noticing all parts of our past and of our present. We've been noticing how our life's been up to now. We've been noticing our limiting beliefs and how they were formed up to now. We've been noticing all the parts of us and the parts that have not been fully expressed up to now. We've been noticing how much untapped passion and wisdom to guide us to our highest potential there is in our body. We've been noticing how shame, anger, and regret needs to be released so that we can tap in and have access to all that energy, so that we can feel that power, so we can have that flow of wisdom. We've been noticing the quality of our relationships and community, what we need and what we have. We've been being honest with ourselves about that. We've been noticing our ability to love ourselves and celebrate who we are just as we are, not someday, not when we hit a benchmark. There's been a lot of noticing. There's a lot of awareness building. I said in the last video that we'll be discovering how it is to be in this skin. We'll be discovering who we are, what's coming through us until our last breath, right? So we're in this course getting really comfortable with this lifelong relationship. We're going to have a lot of relationships, romantic, friends, family, come and go. People will be in our lives and they'll leave this earth. They'll be in our lives and they'll go someplace else. They'll be in our lives and their time to be in relationship with us will come to an end. But this relationship in our own skin, in our own heart, in our own soul, in our own body, this is the one that is a keeper. This is the one we want to put our energy into. Everything flows from this. If we're available here, we're available out there for being a leader and for being loved and for giving love. Like, it all starts here. So with that, this week is a lot about moving from the noticing to the choosing and the acting. So we notice what we want to change in ourselves. I want to be more available for connection. I want to feel more joy in my life. I want to take better care of my body. Choosing, well, to do that, I'm going to have to go to the gym. I'm going to have to sleep more. I'm going to have to eat different foods. I'm going to have to surround myself with people who see me, who celebrate me, who want to hear my experience, who ask questions, who are curious. So it's choosing, and then it's acting on those choices, really taking the actions to make those things a reality. So what we know about change is that change isn't a light switch, right? It doesn't just happen. Right? We didn't come into the experience that we came into from one night or one experience or one day or one insight. It was a gradual forming of how we approach the world. The reason this is a 15-week course is we know that change happens incrementally. The reason that we spend these first chunk of weeks noticing is we're just getting comfortable with the territory of what is. Now that we have so much more awareness in our collective group and in our own bodies, it's time to start making some choices. it's time to start thinking about what are the actions we want to take to make our own lives and the world around us different. So each of us knows that we have habits. Maybe we're late. Maybe we keep some commitments, don't keep other commitments. Maybe we're messy. Maybe we pick bad relationships. Maybe we sabotage ourselves right before we're successful. Maybe we keep ourselves from getting the exact thing that we worked for. We have a lot of habits, and often we think about ourselves as the conglomeration of these habits, and we say things like, that's just the way I am. That's just who I am. That's just how it's going to be for me. We know better at this point in the course. We know that people can change. We know that we can change. We've already seen change in ourselves. So what we want to start looking at this point in the course is, what do we want to change? We know that change happens incrementally. And we also know that change happens from building and flexing and exercising the muscles of the theory of change. We notice something that we want to change, we make a choice, and we act on that change. Many of you have reported on how inspirational, how life-changing an act of kindness was for you. You saw something needed to change. Maybe it was giving someone money to get home on the bus. Maybe it was deciding to feed a group of orphans at an orphanage. Maybe it was providing shoes or sandwiches to kids at school. Maybe it was putting a love note for someone that you live with. Maybe it was just smiling at your neighbor as you pass by, or carrying someone's groceries. You noticed something that you wanted to be different. You made a choice and you acted on that. And that changed everything. And why that changes everything is that when we live with our habits for a while, there is a kind of resignation that sets in. Like, oh, this is just going to be the way it is for me. I'm just never going to experience joy. I'm never going to experience freedom. I'm always going to be plagued by this feeling of not being enough or not being lovable. It's this process of noticing what you want to change, choosing and acting, that reprograms your brain, that reprograms your system, that anything is available to you. It's not all available at once. You're not just going to get the money truck that drops off and solves all your problems. That's not how change works. That's the lottery fantasy. How change works is identifying specifically the things that you want to change and building that muscle of noticing, choosing, and acting. So let's do some work with that. Let's go inside and start to do a little noticing. But in this session and in this week, we're not going to stop at noticing. We're going to make some choices and we're going to take some actions. This is a 2-part video. And in both the parts, and in both your Monday and your home group, the focus this week is on, what do we want to change in our lives? What choice can we make? And how can we act on that choice? And of course, how can we work with all the challenges that come up when we choose something and take action on it? We know that from our past conversations that failure is an inherent part of change, right? We all fail every day, and certainly the bigger task we take on and the more fundamental ways that we endeavor to change ourselves, we're going to face failure. We're going to face challenges. So let's start with that, going inside and looking to see what we want to change, letting your feet be on the floor. I'm casting my eyes down. I'm breathing into my belly. And right along with you, I'm just noticing how it is to be in my body. I'm feeling my legs. I'm feeling my body supported by the couch that I'm sitting in. I'm breathing into my arms. I'm breathing into my hands. And because we've done this so much and we instantly have access to feeling our body, to feeling our heart, to feeling our breath, to feeling our feet, I'm going to ask you to go in right away and just ask the question, what are the parts of my life that are really working? What are the areas I feel really great about? And just let yourself see whatever comes up. I feel really great about my relationship. I feel really great about where I live. I feel really great about the change that I'm having with the people that I'm serving. If I'm serving a project or a community, I feel really great about the contribution that I'm making in the area where I live or in some of the actions that I've taken in acts of kindness. Just noticing the areas of your life that are really working. And as you do, whatever you get, just trust that. Maybe a lot of things, maybe one thing. Asking yourself the question, what are the specific decisions that you made and followed through with to bear the fruit of these things that are working right now for you, the things that you're proud of? What decisions did you make and follow through on to have things be the way they are, the things that are working? How did you get there? You had to make a decision and you had to follow through on that. Looking into what were those decisions and how did you follow through? And letting yourself see on a daily basis what actions did you take and do you still take that really enhance your life and the lives of those around you? What are the things that you're doing right now in your life that are really working, right? What's working right now? Maybe it's that you get up at a certain time. Maybe you make breakfast. Maybe you do a meditation. Maybe you reach out to a friend and check on them. Maybe you take care of a relative. But what are those daily decisions, those daily actions that you're taking that are really enhancing your life and the lives of those around you? It could be as simple as brushing your teeth. Or, as I said, making breakfast for someone. Could be saying I love you every morning to someone you live with. Could be smiling at the people waiting for the bus with you. It could be a check-in call with a friend, taking care of a relative. Making a meal for a family member or someone in need. What are those things that you're doing right now in your life that you feel really good about? The things that make you really proud. And as you look at those things that are working in your life, noticing that that has not always been true. There was a point where you made a conscious decision, maybe it was conscious, maybe it was unconscious, to behave or act differently. So just remembering that your whole life has not been with these things that you're proud of right now. That at some point they started. They started with a conscious decision to behave or act differently. And just take in that whole environment of you already know how to create things that you value, that other people value, that enhance your life. You already know how to do that. You're already doing that. And as you take that in and say, wow, I know how to make change. I'm living proof that change is possible. Your life is a testament that positive change, that contribution is possible by making a decision and following up on that decision. So now let's look on the other side, because all of us have another side. What are some of the conditions, the relationships, the internal states, as we talked about in the other videos that we had together of, those harsh internal states of self-criticism, of judgment, of evaluation inside. So what are the conditions in your life, the relationships and the internal states that still feel frustrating, that don't feel satisfying to you, that you would like to be different? You would just like it to be different in your relationship, in the conditions you're living with or that are going on around you, or how you are with you. What would you like to be different? Again, these situations could be your own self-care, what you eat, how much you sleep, how you take care of your body. They could be around money, where you live. It could be around what you have, your clothes, your electronics, other things you need or want. It could be around your relationships, who you live with, your family, your friends. They could be with how those around you are living, what they need, how they're being treated, what people around you are struggling with. We're empathetic beings. We could not be satisfied with how our community is functioning, but noticing what are those areas that you would like to see a change happen. And as you take a look, almost as if you were rising up above your life and really taking in all those things that you might want to change, pick one. Pick one thing that you'd like to change. It's good to not pick the biggest, most challenging thing first. You know, my daughter always says, I want world peace. And I'm like, okay, well, why don't we just start with you not hitting your brother for 5 minutes? So don't pick the biggest, most challenging thing first. You know, let's pick one that is significant. It matters to you. If you change that thing, it would be a contribution to you and to those around you. But it's not a huge, overwhelming thing. Pick something that's going to take some effort, but seems doable to you. Seems possible. And once you have that thing in your mind that you want to change, imagine what you would need to do every day to create the change you'd like to see. You know how to do this because we looked at the things in your life that are already working that you did this exact process with, maybe even before you knew this process. And as you look at what you would need to do every day to create this change that you want to see, notice what might get in the way of taking this action every day. What circumstances, excuses, internal blocks might stop you from taking this simple action every day. Maybe it's that you would be too tired, or you would have a conflict, something else would be pulling your energy. Maybe it's that you would wake up to do this thing, you know, whether that's work out to the gym or go visit a relative, and you would have some internal block saying, why do I have to do this? Or I can't do this. I'm too tired. I'm too depressed. I don't feel like it today. Just notice what might come up that would stop you, whatever it is. And noticing, even as you see what might come up, what might stop you, are you willing to totally commit to making this one change in your life become a reality through this simple, defined action? Just noticing if you're willing to commit. Because we know you can do this. We saw this in the first part of this meditation. We know it's possible. But we also know it's going to take your commitment to go through whatever comes up. Are you willing to make that commitment? And if you are, giving yourself some gratitude and knowing that this is how we build that muscle of seeing the change we want in our lives in the world, making a choice and taking action by doing it, right? Not by thinking about it, not by making lists, but by doing it. And today you have defined something you want to change. You saw what might come up. You committed to go through whatever comes up. So just giving yourself some gratitude and then gently feeling your feet on the floor and coming back to this space we share together. And I'd love you to start the writing today, and I'm assuming that you've got your pen and paper ready and your app open, with what you're most proud of in your life right now. Because we always want to start change from a place of strength. And you've got strength. You've got a track record. You know how to make change. So I'd like you to write down, you've got a slide to guide you, what are you most proud of in your life right now? And deepening this sense of strength and sense of success, creating some momentum, answering the questions, what decisions did you make and what actions did you consistently take to manifest, to bring into being those parts of your life that you're most proud of today? So what did you do consistently to make this change happen, to make this reality that you're so proud of in your life happen today? You've got a slide to guide you. Keep writing, and if there's more to write, of course, pause the video and then start it again when you're done. What did you do to make this change happen? Great work. Now we're coming from a place of strength. We know we can do this. And so we want to break down a little bit about the change that you chose in this meditation. And if you didn't choose one in the meditation, this is your opportunity to do it now. So in this next writing prompt, you're going to write down what is the thing that you want to change in your life. So if you didn't choose it before, you can choose it now. If you chose it now, just write it down. How have you tried to change or improve this before? So maybe you've got some past attempts that didn't work out. Let's look at what didn't work. And then if you have had some past failures with it, what were the barriers that you encountered, internal and external? What were the things that stopped you? Because once you know those things, you'll be looking out for them and you can go through them. You can use your commitment to navigate through them. And then lastly, to really ground you in the why of this, we got to have something at stake. Why is this change important to you? Why is this change you make important to you? Why did you choose this change? go ahead and there's going to be a slide for you. Follow the prompts. Write as long as you need to. Feel free to pause the video to complete those 4 questions. All right, we're on the road to making this change a reality. And in this last slide, again, I'm going to ask you to answer 4 questions. Again, take the time you need, but write for at least 3 minutes. And the 4 questions are, what is the daily action you need to take to make this change a reality? So you want to be very specific. I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. and I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to go out and I'm going to take this action. I'm going to make this call. I'm going to whatever it is. There's a specific daily action to take every day to make this change a reality. So write that down. And then what's it going to look and feel like when this changes a reality? Maybe it's going to look like your house looks and feels different. Maybe it's going to look like your relationship is transformed. Maybe it's going to look like your health hits a certain milestone. How are you going to know that this changes a reality? Just really clearly, if we flew in from outside, how would we know objectively that this changes a reality? And then, it's always helpful to have a team when you're making a change. So who could support you in making this change a reality? Who could help you with it? And then how specifically could this person support you in making this change a reality? So who could help you and how could they help you? Answer those 4 questions now. Always pause the video if you've got more to say and start it when you're ready to start again. All right, great work. Go out and take those actions, make that change. There's a part 2 to this video. So you're going to be on a track to make a change in your own life using Notice, Choose, and Act. And in your home group and in the second part of the video, we're going to open up Notice, Choose, and Act because we really want to exercise this muscle. We're going to the gym with this muscle of how we make change in our lives. So we're going to start to look at some of the external changes we could make, some of the changes in our community, some of the acts of service that we want to be engaging in to further exercise this change-making muscle. We'll see you soon. Have a great couple days.